Did you know that you can make money from Airbnb even if you don't own any property? Because usually when I first talk to somebody about making money on Airbnb, they're like, well, I don't have a bunch of property. And I'm like, well, you don't need property. So there are 3 ways to make money off the Airbnb platform without owning any property at all. Option number 1, rent a place out and sublet it. As you can see, I'm actually in an Airbnb rental. This is one of my properties, and someone did this to me. They rented out my property, and they as we were going through the lease negotiations, they said, "Can I add something?" I was like, "Well, I thought they were gonna, ask for parking or whatever, ask for extra AC." Is that even a thing, extra AC? But instead, she goes, "Honestly, I'm trying out Airbnb rentals, and I would like to pay you extra." And I said, "You know what? A, I appreciate the honesty, and B, I support the hustle because I used to rent out my place on Airbnb until it was banned, and so obviously you should make sure that the Airbnb is not banned in that unit or in that area." Yeah, so this young lady, she put the place up, she rented out for me, we made a deal, she paid me extra, and she did the math, and she figured she could make money off the property, and I asked, and she said she did, so she rented this place out, redesigned it. Obviously this is not the place for now because we're in a pandemic and all that stuff, but so she fixed the place up, and then she put on Airbnb, and her goal was to calculate how much she was paying me for rent and how much extra she was giving me, and to see how much she could make. And it turns out she made some money. So if you don't have any property, you can rent out a place and then sublet it. So give that a shot. The second way to make money from Airbnb without any property at all is related services. So there are people that host Airbnb properties, people that host experiences, adventures, day trips. You can offer a related service. So right now, one thing that's in demand is just listing the property and doing all this. Because as you can imagine, someone who's an investor or someone who owns a lot of property doesn't have time to be dealing with all this stuff. So you can start your own Airbnb rental management service, I guess you can call it that. In other words, you just do all the work for somebody else. So you can screen the tenants, do all the messaging, do the communication, the marketing, handle all that aspect of it. Or you can go to a different level. You can offer the cleaning of the Airbnb, because the Airbnb has to be cleaned, and most places charge a cleaning fee, and it's obviously a little bit extra than what actual cleaning costs. So you could do the cleaning, or you can even do, like I said, the screening and the marketing, or any other service that you can think of that relates to that. You could offer to be a tour guide, so that's gonna be the next point, or you could just offer to help the person put list their unit, make it presentable. Like, for example, adding a coffee machine, adding all the towels, and just figuring out how to configure a property for Airbnb. That is in demand right now. Option number 3 for making money on Airbnb. Well, I got a book coming out on this. It's a Start an Airbnb experience. So when you book a room with Airbnb or book any accommodations, Airbnb will email you with things to do. So that's what an Airbnb experience is. It's anything. It could be a walking tour, a food tour, a coffee tour, which is what I did and I specialized in. Bike rides, comedy as you're walking, anything you can think of, any kind of experience, you can offer that. You go to apply to host an experience, you look up your city, and there'll be at least, at one point there's 45 different categories and themes. You go through all those themes and you're guaranteed to find one thing that you can do. From there you offer your experience and you make money with no property at all. So just to recap, you don't have to have any property. You go on Airbnb, you can sublet a place and put it up for rent. You can offer related services, or you can start your own experience. 3 different ways to make money from the Airbnb platform without having to buy a house. How amazing is that? Good luck, and let us know how it works.